And welcome back to Unpopular Reviews, AEW Dynamite Review Show. I am your host, Z is Silent, but on Wednesdays I am always elite. And I'm joined by my co-host, the executive consultant who's just waking up and watching AEW.
I also switched sides. But yes, I am here. I'm here, just waking up. I exaggerate. I didn't just wake up because I did get to see AEW. So. But, AEW Dynamite, man. AEW Dynamite.
For what they hyped up, it was an okay show. I personally thought the last 2 weeks were better. But we got the Blonde Eliminator Tournament semifinals, Adam Cole and MJF versus Big Bill and Brian Cage. And on paper, if you're looking at Big Bill and Brian Cage, nobody should be able to beat them. But, it's wrestling, so whatever. We got another semifinal, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. The Owen Hart Memorial Women's Tournament semifinal, Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho. Commander versus Chris Jericho, Nick Wayne making his debut versus Swerve Strickland, and we were going to find out the fifth members of each team for Blood and Guts, the BCC and the Elite. But to start off the night, we got Commander versus Chris Jericho. Not a bad way to open up Dynamite. I'm not going to lie. I've been impressed with Commander since seeing him, 2 months ago when he debuted in AEW. But Lucha Underground, he's well known. He's well known in Ring of Honor. He could definitely put on a match. If you would have put him in WWE, he would definitely be dumbed down. But I think AEW is the perfect spot for him. I thought that Chris Jericho being the perfect partner for him, in which Jericho has this storyline with Don Callis that is kind of taking over a mind of its own, and it's a will he or won't he thing. This match was more so about Chris Jericho and showcasing what Commander could do. Jericho still pulled it out. Couple tidbits. I mean, we know we're going to get the spot from Commander where he's running the tight rope and then jumps onto the other rope to the other side. You can't have a Commander match without seeing that. It's now a signature of his. I would be shocked if I didn't see a Commander match with that, but I watch Commander matches just to see that. So no problem there. A little bit sloppy with the chemistry with Jericho trying to get the code breaker from the top. But I still thought it was a good finish. Very good match. Jericho gets to slip by on Commander when he went old school and hit the Lion Tamer, and they acknowledged it as the Lion Tamer. He had that man's neck crinkled up like a bag of chips, and he had no choice but to tap. Jericho gets the W. We get Don Callis that comes out, sends him an old video from 95, 96, 95. And we see Bad News Brown. Shout out to Mike Knox, because every time we do a show about black wrestlers of all time, he puts him on there. I don't know why. I'm not going to put him on any of my top 10. But Mike is like 100 years old, so of course he's going to put him on there. But we get that, and Don Callis and Jericho going through their 34 years of friendship, and Jericho still is undecided on if he's going to join Don Callis's team. EC, your thoughts on Commander and Jericho and the aftermath with Callis and Jericho?
Jericho needed a win, and Jericho needed somebody that's actually going to make him look good. So I can see why they put the in there. I'm not exactly sure if it should be a good opening match, but it did the job they had to do. My problem with this is, they do the Bad News Brown in there. They had the video. What's up, Charmaine? They had to do something to continue the storyline. I understand. But one thing I'll say, when you said this is what you felt like the last 2 weeks were a little better, I do feel like what's going on phenomenal. I do feel like this one was kind of I hate to use the word, but a filler. I saw a lot of stuff that I saw last week that they just copied the homework and just adjusted a few things. I felt that way with this Don Callis thing, right? When he came out there, I felt like, you need to see, okay, you need a tease. Is Jericho going to join? Is Jericho going to join? Let's show another element of how we're friends. Let's show an element of how I aged badly compared to Jericho. That's what Don Callis did. But it still kind of felt flat, but it was interesting to see. I never knew exactly how close their friendship was, and I never knew the bad news Brown aspect of it. As far as the match is concerned, like I said, it did what I had to do. Chris Jericho's professional. He knows how to go in the ring, and somebody like Commander that really can create a lot of movement in the ring really helps Jericho, and Jericho needed to pick up W because he's taking so many L's lately. So not upset with this match. Good to see.
Alrighty. Moving on, the next match that we have is the Blonde Eliminator tournament semifinals with Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia. I think for all intensive purposes of teams, right? Like Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, not really known to be a team, but from some strange reason, Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia get put as blind tag partners, in which Daniel Garcia usually is teaming with Daddy Magic, who got teamed with the Butcher the previous week, which that was a blunder of a team. They got showed up. But Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, I think should be able to win the whole tournament because they are a cohesive team that has teamed before in this eliminator tag tournament. But we get a little bit of distraction from Swerve, who still has his beef with Darby, and this ends up costing Cassidy and Darby Allin the match. I thought the match very fast paced, very entertaining. Sammy Guevara, always money in the ring. Daniel Garcia, I think he's probably top 5 pure wrestler over there in AEW. He just does not get any shine because he does not have a character. But it is AEW, so characters don't always matter in the sense of these fans that watch AEW. But I think the right team won, and Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia. Orange Cassidy has much better things to do, and that's defending that championship, which is actually the most prestigious championship that AEW has, not the triple B as MJF likes to call it. It's definitely Orange Cassidy's belt that is way more prestigious than the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So I thought that Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin losing in this match, it made perfect sense. They're not exactly a team. Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, absolutely a team. They're in the Jericho Appreciation Society. If they did not go over, I would definitely say AEW is some shit for that. But I thought the right team. I thought that's right, Vic. Reach for the sky, boy. I thought the right team won. Your thoughts on Danny Garcia, Sammy Guevara versus Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin?
You know, I want to say that I felt like this match had potential. You know, if you add everybody up, you can make 400 pounds look. I am a great big fan of Orange Cassidy. I can't stop praising this man. I think he has the best title run in wrestling outside of Roman Reigns. And I want him to slow down a little bit because I feel like I see where he might be hurt. He might be a little injured. But he's out there every week. I actually wanted Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin to win the whole thing. I'm not surprised they took the L. I'm not surprised to see that Swerve is now being added into this feud in order to do something, because the storyline, of course, is between Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. These two are the people who are supposed to be the breakout stars from the Jericho Appreciation Society, and they want to see how well they work, and they want to see them in the feud. Now, personally, I think they both are very talented, but as I say, size matters to me. I think they're too small. But what is up with Daniel Garcia? He's doing something so annoying that I'm going to end up liking it in 3 weeks. You know what I'm talking about?
What is that?
What is this? What is he doing?
He got rap music when he comes to the ring, man. He's got like the most thuggish music when you come to the ring.
He can be a thug all he wants, but why he got to do like this? And I saw him do that last week to I think it was Dasha Fuentes or something. But oh my gosh, come on, man! Like everything, like he looking tough. But you know what? Not for nothing. Even though he's short, if he gained about 20 pounds of muscle, that man will be a problem. So I really think he should consider that. But shout out to Daniel Garcia. I have an eye on him. Match is okay. Any match Orange Cassidy is automatically good to me. I've never seen Orange Cassidy have a bad match. Ever. Ever.
That okay, I get that. All right. I'm not gonna say I've seen a bad. I can't even knock that or disagree with it. Um, but I will say that next, if somebody could tell me a uh great match that you've seen MJF wrestle, a great wrestling match that you've seen MJF wrestle, I will I will concede. But I have not yet. I'm still going to be very critical of MJF. He is nothing more than a guy who was playing a pro wrestler to me. I'm sorry, I don't see it. However, I did enjoy the backstage segment. I am definitely coming around to this storyline with him and Adam Cole as of last week. And then tonight was hilarious to me when they were at the bar. Couple ladies walked by. MJF is like, "Come on, two for me, two for you." And he goes, "I care about Britt Baker too much." He goes, "All right, well that means four for Daddy." Like this shit was great. It was funny. Then Adam's like, "Let's go do something I want to do." And my man's like, "Yo, let's go play AEW Fight Forever," in which was hot for like the first 10 days, and I don't hear anybody talking about it. So, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then the backstage where he goes, "We're facing Brian Cage and Big Bill," and then all of a sudden MJF's like, "I got a fever. I can't." Like they have really good chemistry, and it's coming along week after week after week. But I think what I am enjoying most is that MJF is adapting very well to this whole friendship thing. But lest we not forget Jericho and MJF, that whole friendship sing along thing, and all this is very reminiscent of that. And Adam and MJF plays very well into that role because it's going to be a double turn. I think it's going to be a double turn. They're going to turn on each other at the same time. I think that's the only way that you kind of do this. You don't do one or the other because they both already admitted that they were planning to do it. So I think you just do a double turn, but it has to be at the wrong time, and I think the wrong time is going to be when they face Guevara and Daniel Garcia, unless they beat them and then it's for the titles, and that's when it comes in. Because I believe the stipulation is if they get to the finals, then Adam Cole gets a title shot. So all he needs to do is get to the finals. If I'm not mistaken, they might need to win it. It's either they have to win it or they have to get to the finals. So if they get to the finals, all bets are off on Adam Cole's side. And I think that if they have to win, then MJF will turn. But if it's not, and they just have to get to the finals, Adam Cole's going to turn. But either way, I think it's going to be a double. The one thing that I do enjoy very, very much about them is that MJF comes out first, and then Adam Cole comes out, and MJF he adopts Adam Cole's interest. He's marking out. He's playing the air drums. He's doing the whole boom. Like, I thought it was great. But the match itself, I like the mannerisms from Big Bill and Brian Cage playing the perfect heels. Everything that Big Bill's been doing, I've been loving in AEW. I just think that he's in a wrong situation. He's with the wrong people. But who else are you going to put him with? He can't be by himself because he's not that great of a talker. So you kind of got to surround him with people that can talk. Brian Cage, not enough can be said about Brian Cage. I mean, he was a step away from coming to WWE, in which he absolutely would have been ruined, in my opinion. But Adam Cole and MJF, their mannerisms, their chemistry is definitely growing and it's showing. And MJF is still trying to get this double clothesline. He's still trying to sell people on this double clothesline. And I think it's hilarious because they do it after every single match. We're still going to get it. We're still going to get it. I mean, the guys, they got shirts made. So they're definitely over. I love the match though. The match was really good. It was definitely a bright spot in AEW. And I thought it came at the right time. It was in the middle of the show. Your thoughts on this match with MJF and Adam Cole versus Brian Cage and Big Bill?
Oh, the match was terrible. But I will say this. It was very, very exciting or interesting. I'll say the word. That was the wrong word. It was very, very interesting to see this MJF, and it was my favorite segment last week. It was my favorite segment this week. These two are gold together. Very, very good. I don't even know if they knew what they would have here. You know it's got to end. MJF. This is what MJF does, right? It's classic MJF. That's why the announcers are not even trying to buy into it. It's vintage MJF, where he's befriending the enemy so he can suck them in, pause, and then attack them in the end. And that's what he does every single time. He does it so well because he knows how to play the crowd. The crowd just eat out of his hands all the time. You know what this jackass is going to do. That's his gimmick. That's what Twitter brought him to the dance. But for some reason, y'all just sit there, y'all chant his name, y'all call yourselves devil worshippers. He's playing the traditional baby face like, I'm a friend. I didn't have any friends. Hey, he's turning me as that person. The only person that's going to get screwed in this segment is Roderick Strong, who looks like a sorry little puppy, like, I left where I was for you, to be with you, and you made this new friend in MJF. The shirts are hot. Get it while you get it. Reminds you of Chris Jericho, AJ Styles. You knew Chris Jericho was going to turn on AJ Styles the entire time when AJ Styles first came to WWE. They started calling themselves Y2AJ. They got shirts. Boom. You know, wouldn't be surprised Chris Jericho's behind the segment because Jericho's ego is that big. But really, really interesting. I loved it. I love playing, watching the video game and stuff like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, some more AEW Dynamite. Stay with us. You're watching a popular review.
And I guess Gable said, oh, the match is over. Let me fling people. One dude, I don't know who this dude was. He just looked at his medal. He kept touching it, and Gable was like, I'm sorry. I got to throw this spot in. Right? I'm sorry. Let me throw this in real quick. I thought it was hilarious because Eddie just got thrown, and he almost landed on his neck. Thank God he didn't land on his neck, right? But you see Gable with the medal, like, he keeps doing this. He keeps doing this with the medal. And Booker T said, what the hell is that going to do? Chris White, what is that going to do? That's not going to heal him, Gable.
We don't know.
No, I do, because someone flinged the medal at me, and all I had was a bruise. So, no, it doesn't heal you.
NXT review show immediately after NXT every single Tuesday at 10 o'clock p.m. or 10:05 p.m. with Bad Guy Jack and the Wrestling Doll. You're watching AEW Review Show. Executive Consultant Z is silent with a fire AEW Dynamite, but at least I thought it was okay. Z, not so much. Not usually.
It was better than, I mean, it wasn't better in the past 2 weeks, but it's better than what they've had lately. And moving on into the night, we got very, very bright spots in AEW's roster, their women's roster anyway. I think that we got the semifinals between Ruby Soho and Sky Blue. Sky Blue is literally like the 1B to Roxana Perez's 1A NXT. Prodigy, 21, 22, young, bright future, attractive, nice body, very marketable. AEW has something with Sky Blue and they know it, right? Like I follow Sky Blue on Instagram, and every week she has thousands and thousands and thousands of more followers, right? Like, and her ring skills are definitely getting better each week. And in her right, Ruby Soho is now coming into her own because it seems like she's playing a character that is more so like herself. And that's what you like. The Runaway was a cool gimmick for when she first came back to pro wrestling. Great, nice song, but she had no character. Right now you have a character because you got the NWO bronze in the social outcast, but it works for all of these ladies because coming in from WWE, they kind of get that moniker of, like, you know, the throwaways from the other company, and it's hard to kind of shake that, right? It's hard to shake that. Even back in the day when we got wrestlers from WCW to jump to WWE, especially if they weren't top tier, then you kind of got the throwaway, and vice versa for if you want to. I don't really recall anybody like really jumping shit from WWE to WCW, so I'll just use the analogy of WWE to TNA at the time, because TNA was the only other thing that was popping. So, you know, if you were a mid carder in WWE and you got the TNA, you were going to be a mid carder till you got pushed into the main event, and then you would go back to WWE as a main eventer, which we always thought that TNA was a plant for people that could not get over in WWE and needed to develop a little bit something else. But Ruby has definitely developed to something else. She's got her character, she's got everything that she needs to literally break out from the social outcast when it happens, if it happens, to be a viable champion going there. But in this match, I thought it was great. Good psychology from both ladies. But Sky Blue showing that she can keep up with veterans week after week. She has been the constant MVP that is not Chris Statlander in this women's division. And that's it. Those are your two big stars right now. You don't have a Jade Cargill, so you're taking the spotlight off of Britt Baker and like you should. And there's no Jamie Hayter right now. She's disappeared. So you need to develop new stars, new baby faces. And right now, at the top of my list, I am definitely going with Chris Statlander, number 1, Sky Blue, number 2. Two attractive ladies. They can wrestle. They're marketable. This is everything that AEW has right now for these women. They cannot afford to drop the ball with this. But Ruby Soho comes out with the victory, in which I thought that she would. It's a little too soon to be putting that type of pressure on Sky Blue, in which Ruby came last year. She lost to Britt Baker in the finals. So I thought that this is I think that this tournament is Ruby's to lose. I can't remember who she's supposed to face next week. But again, I think it's up to Ruby to win this thing, and I think that she will win this thing. Your thoughts on Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue?
I think she's going to end up facing Willow Nightingale, but I can see
Willow's already got a belt. She don't need to win no cup.
No, she lost that championship.
She got one before anybody else, so she can afford to lose.
I think it's going to be Ruby Soho to win. Actually, I picked her to win all the way because they really are trying to push her. They're really trying to push the Outcast as much as they can. I will say that because they're taking a backseat with Britt Baker, which I don't think is a bad idea, but taking the backseat with Britt Baker and of course Jade Cargill gone. No offense to Chris Statlander, who I am a fan of. I think the AEW Women's Division, which was never in the stellar orbit, I should say, has taken an even bigger hit. As I said on Monday, I believe that Mercedes Moné is coming in a couple of weeks. I truly do believe that, and that will be the shot in the arm that they need. But I do believe Ruby Soho is going to win this tournament. This match was okay. It was solid. And what I mean by solid, I mean it wasn't bad, but it wasn't memorable. I don't see it out of Sky Blue, but I don't exactly hate it. As far as her followers going up each and every single week, well, that's because she's an attractive woman, and a couple of her pictures went viral in the last couple of weeks. So that's why people are like, oh, who's that? Oh, let me follow her. But we'll see if she does have a future. Like I said, I don't. She is young. She's new. So what I've seen so far, I have not been impressed. Not that she has to impress me, but I do see where she might get there eventually. So it's going to be an interesting ride to see. But this match, it was okay. It just was okay. But that MJF Adam Cole segment, baby.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into for me personally, the head scratching moment of the night. Swerve Strickland versus this 18-year-old kid named Nick Wayne. Now, cool, I'm all for it. Like new people, whatever. But you have a roster of 80 plus people hanging, waiting in the wings.
120 some odd wrestlers.
I stand corrected. And you bring in an 18-year-old kid to go against a veteran in Swerve Strickland. I think he's around enough to call him a veteran. And what I didn't get, and I could be wrong. But Swerve is like what, 32? He's like 30, 32, something like. I don't know if the commentary was telling the truth or they was lying, but they was like, "Oh, they got wars over years. The kid is 18. So you got him out here wrestling a 30-year-old and saying they have wars over the years. So he's just out like what? And like the fact that they literally made it like this kid had a chance against Swerve. Like I get it, you're trying to get him to showcase. Why you couldn't do that with Ring of Honor? Why you had to put that kid on national television and you deprive all your other talent that you've been sucking off to get there, but you don't give them the TV spot, right? Like you got too much. Put him on Rampage. Like I get it. This is probably more so about Darby Allin than it actually is about showcasing Nick Wayne. But you kind of get a sense of why Nick Wayne was chosen is because a guy like Darby Allin, who started in his position, sleeping in his car, quitting film school, just to be a pro wrestler, and AEW was the only place that gave him a legitimate chance. So I thought it made a lot of sense for Darby Allin to come out there and cheer him on from the ramp, not ringside, but from the ramp. I thought it made a lot of sense. Once I got where they were going with it, but on the initial sense of it, it definitely was a head scratcher for me. Charmaine don't even have AEW Dark anymore, so he should definitely go to Rampage. The moves between Swerve and Nick Wayne, I will definitely say Nick Wayne is like a cross between like a Ricochet and like a Cody Rhodes. Like they call his Cody Cutter a Wayne's World. No, that's a Cody Cutter, my dog. That's a Cody Cutter. We gonna forever know that that's a Cody Cutter. I don't care if he did it from the top rope, the bottom rope, the second rope. That's a Cody Cutter now. But the boy can go. He's literally like a white Ricochet. He can go. So he probably could have a bright future. Got to put on some muscle. But right now for AEW's platform, I think he's perfect for it. I just didn't like the placement of him going against Swerve Strickland. But again, it wasn't even about Swerve. It was more so about Darby Allin. And if we're going to continue with this Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland storyline, I am absolutely 100% for this feud. I think this will probably be one of the more meaningful feuds that Swerve has been in since the whole Keith Lee thing. Other than that, I haven't cared for Swerve Strickland's character at all in AEW right now. But I do like the sneakiness that he gives in the ring. But it's something about this Mongol, like mogul, whatever the group is. It's something about it I can't get down with. Like the people he carries himself with, like they don't even look like they should match his circle. Right? Like they just don't like they like he's a rapper, a mogul, but you got dudes with tattoos, white dudes with tattoos that it just don't look right. It just doesn't look right to me. Like you're breaking all stereotypes. If you're going to get one stereotype right, at least get that one right. But that's not about the match. The match, Swerve Strickland, Nick Wayne, I thought it was good. It's a great debut for him. He lost. His mama's fine. She was in the crowd. He lost, but it was a good showing. And I'm pretty sure that's not going to be. We'll probably get a tag match with him and Darby. I would give it at least 2 or 3 weeks. We'll probably get him again versus Swerve and somebody from whatever mogul embassy that he's rolling with. But I thought it was good. It was a good showing, but again, it wasn't even about that. It was more so about the storyline between Swerve and Darby Allin. Your thoughts on Swerve Strickland and Nick Wayne's face-off?
Who's Nick Wayne? That's all I was thinking of. and
Everybody was like, who was Nick?
I've been seeing little things where Swerve has been trying to tweet, and I saw on social media, like, hey, I have history with Nick Wayne. Okay, that's fine, but who knows it? 3 people? You know?
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's 18 years old. I agree with you. I think you said it perfectly. He should have been on Rampage, you know, if you're really going to try to showcase him, because he is talented. I'm positive he is talented, but I would not have really worked with this as a match of Dynamite, the last wrestling match of Dynamite, because Dynamite's still your flagship show, right? That's the one that gets the most ratings. So you have to highlight and draw people in. And unfortunately, this kid is not going to draw in. Now, he has a decent show. I'm sure he has a bright future, just like Sky Blue. Probably has a bright future. He's a young kid, and it seems like he can go. You compare him to Ricochet. That is a big compliment outside the microphone. That is a big compliment. But as your main event, I'm not sure. Swerve, however, him had a very decent match. Swerve is, albeit a young veteran at 32, but he is a veteran and he can work with this kid, and he definitely did. So, I mean, the match was okay. Just as you said, I would not have put it on AEW Dynamite. We're going to talk about our main event segment. When we come back, we have two commercial breaks. We'll be right back. Either way you look at it. Say what you're watching about the review.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
We're going to talk about, is the NWO the greatest faction in wrestling history? Now, we talk all the time about how the Bloodline is the greatest storyline in wrestling history. But what if the NWO fit as far as factions are concerned? 27 years, I'm going to take you down a little miniature pathway of their destruction, if you will, so to speak, through WCW, and find out where they rank at. Also, it's been 35 years since Shawn Michaels, if you will, Daddy, debut. I'm going to give you, which we're going to rehash a little bit, my top 5 Shawn Michael matches of all time. Also, do ratings still matter? They come out with ratings every week. The Facebook groups we're all a part of all complain and bitch, ratings don't matter. Yes, they do. That's all that matters. There you go. We got DVR now and streaming. What ratings don't matter, but ratings do matter. They post them every week for a reason. I don't know what's worse, the CM Punk chants or when you're constantly singing Seth Rollins. I don't know which one's worse. I can't. Jesus Christ. Okay. Just hijack the whole damn show, why don't you?
George says Eddie Kingston is currently on the best. Oh, please. Have you seen Eddie Kingston? He says Eddie Kingston is currently on the best run of his entire career. George, have you seen Eddie Kingston? This man ain't running anywhere. Please stop. I need to stop at this. I think it's time to go. This is ridiculous, Chris. This is wild. This has just turned into a wild show. And look at this. Look at this. We're gonna leave you with this comment right here.
Who's
Kingston? Hold on. There's one more comment. George says, say that to his face at Hog High Intensity. Well, I'm not going to be there because one Hog show is good enough for me this year. I went to go see what's his face, and he disappointed me. But it doesn't surprise me that a guy like Eddie Kingston is going to be at a show that's called Hog. Thank you very much, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, on Mondays, you can watch the Mike Knott Show at 6 o'clock p.m. Every single Monday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, Mike Knott Show. And at 10 o'clock p.m. during Raw, as we do a Raw simulcast, it is myself and Big Daddy Cool talking all the week of wrestling here at Unpopular Review Wrestling. Yeah, but here the consultant is silent. As you see, even during Raw, we talk about some AEW.
I just want to say, I got to tell Mike, ratings do not matter. I don't care what he's talking about. Ratings don't matter. It's like t-shirt sales don't matter. They just don't matter. They literally don't matter. It doesn't matter. The company is going to get behind who they want to get behind, point blank, period. We saw how Roman Reigns was shoved down our throats for years. It doesn't matter, Mike. Just stop it. It doesn't matter. I don't care how many t-shirt sales. You see this shit on Twitter? It was like, oh, LA Knight t-shirt sales are like third behind Tribal Chief and Bloodline. Like, who cares? Yeah, the man's 40. You're not get behind him. They're not getting behind him. If he spent 3 years in TNA, 4 years in TNA, he's got 3 championships. He's not that guy. He's got a nice little
Kevin Nash. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. I'm with Nash on this one. I am definitely with Nash on that. But closing out AEW, we get a closer look in the blood and guts. Who is the 5th member of Team BCC versus Team Elite? And we get Omega coming to the ring, about to say a little something, and then we get, I can't even lie, I forgot about this guy. I forgot all about him. And it's revealed that Pac, the bastard, is the 5th member of Team BCC. I was all for it because that is long-term storytelling that you completely forgot.
No, that's some lucky storytelling.
That is probably, you're probably right. He probably just got right at the right time, or they didn't have anything for him. It was like, hey, remember he took my eye out, so it's time. Like, I thought that was pretty dope. I thought that for them to refer back to that storyline, I thought it was really good. But then, just as they're about to snap Kenny Omega's neck, we get and I don't even know about you, but as soon as the lights went out and they had a little video package, I said, watch it be somebody from New Japan. There's always somebody from New Japan. You got all these wrestlers on the roster again. You got all these wrestlers on the roster, and y'all always go outside to pick somebody else. Well, you got somebody sitting in the wings, and you go get somebody who can't speak no English.
They want somebody who's going to generate a pop. Kota Ibushi, because he has such a history with Kenny Omega, is going to generate that pop. I was excited.
I mean,
I like Kota Ibushi. He is arguably my favorite international wrestler. Yes.
Over old boy that
yes.
Danielson faced?
Okada, yes, definitely.
Okada?
I am a huge. I've always been a fan of Kota Ibushi since his work in the what was it, cruiserweight, whatever they had at the Full Sail about 7 years ago or something like that. It's just been a fan of his work ever since, and I think this is a smart decision. I agree. I think it's a little anticlimactic, a little stupid, because he has this thing on his neck, and then he's just like, hey, you got any last words?
I'm stepping on your shit. Like, I'm stepping on your
exactly. I would be like, okay, Boko, he's not even here. You know,
and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. Look at the screen. Okay.
Oh my God.
Let me stop what I'm doing.
Let me stop murdering this man that I already just said on the air. So I'm going to jail regardless. Then I'm about to murder you, right? I just didn't understand that. But nice reveal of Kota Ibushi. I think they could have done it a different way. Nice little Pac. I think he's a good addition. I think he makes the most sense because who else are they going to get? I was really curious about it because who else are they going to get? Should have been Danielson, but they don't have Danielson. Who else is really going to fit this? And it's going to be Pac, and Pac can easily come in, take that loss or the W, and then leave because Pac only comes around for about 3 weeks because he says, "When I have no problem coming, but when I come, I have to be there for a few weeks to make it worth it, make my trip."
Pause.
Are you describing? Are we describing Pac? Or are we describing your last date? I don't know, but I know what Pac does, right? He says it has to be worth it. Actually, you know what? Hey, we are discovering your last date because Lord knows if I come. And I'm staying on for a little while because it has to be worth it. Where is this storyline going? What is this conversation going to? Only Dice talks like this. Dirty Dice is what we're going to start calling you. No,
I don't know because this is what you got to do in society. Grown men can talk about sports. I'm like, oh, he hit him hard. Pause. Like you can't even watch Inside the NBA anymore because every time Charles Barkley says something, Shaq is always looking at the camera and he's like, oh, pause. Hold on, Ernie. Hold on, Chuck. Like you can't even talk sports no more. So you got to check.
Now, we always have to, and the world's so much more relaxed, right, about certain things. But we still have to add the pause in a few things. It's amazing.
You gotta add the pause. When a guy gets sacked from the back, pause. If I hear that on football, I'm done. I don't turn Monday Night Football off. But the chaos that we get, they call this this iteration of the elite the golden elite. How many elites are you gonna have? But whatever.
They were called the Golden Lovers.
The Golden Lovers. That's right. And they took the lovers off. Good choice taking the lovers off
because they had the elite in there.
I like after they showed the video package. Of course, I mean, I was thinking the whole time, where the hell is everybody else?
I was thinking the whole time, did they end accidentally a little too early? Because I felt like they, Kenny and was it Dean Ambrose? Somebody was just talking, and I'm like, y'all just filling time now. Well,
yeah, that's what happened. Because I was watching it on not live TV, but a stream, allegedly. But the program had went off, but you could still hear the broadcast. Right, and the commentators were still commentating, so and that happens a lot more often than people think.
Yeah, it happens on SmackDown often too.
Yeah, so it's like usually when SmackDown goes off, it's like the my local news comes on, but and then what TBS it usually goes into an Avengers movie or some shit like
Big
that.
Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory Avengers. Like that's the only thing you're gonna get. That's the only thing you're gonna get every week for sure. But there was definitely some chatter going on still, and and I would say that I don't. It's hard for me to say I'm excited about this Blood and Guts as opposed to last year's Blood and Guts.
Mm-hmm.
I thought last year Blood and Guts had a lot more personal issues with it within the different layers of the 10 men. But this one, it just seems like this is literally just about the BCC instilling their Kyojitsu? Is that what they call it? Kyojitsu amongst the AEW roster, and Kenny Omega versus Don Callis and Kaneshka. But then that's like the rest of the Takeshka. Sorry. And then the rest of the leaders like, hey, we got your back, bud. That's it. There's nothing else personal between anybody else outside of Omega and Callis. So
yeah, that's the main part right there.
So
except for Hangman, Young Bucks really don't like BCC. But Cesaro wasn't there. Wheeler Yuta wasn't there. Was Cesaro there?
Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, was he there?
No.
I didn't think I saw him. Yeah, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. No,
you know wasn't there? Kota Ibushi.
It was Nope.
He'll be there next week. Their version of War Games. Interested in seeing. The only reason I had is because Cody Rhodes wanted it because it honored his father. Cody left and they said, we're still taking this and keeping it Blood and Guts.
So I'm still going to be excited to watch this just because I love watching two rings put side by side, double cages. I mean, who doesn't like double cages? Last year we got the crazy spot from Sammy Guevara. Who's going to take the crazy fall this year?
It'll be interesting. This will be my first time watching it from the beginning. I usually only watch highlights.
So I think I'm going to go with the Elite going over because I want to see what happens if Kenny Omega gets his hands on Don Callis, in which he told him once everybody else is down, he'll be next. So I want to see if he fulfills that. But for some reason, I think that he won't be able to get the opportunity. But all in all, I'm still excited for it. Yeah, I just said that. I'm excited for an AEW match. Look at that. But I just want to see Danielson come back, and which he should be back, like a week or two after this is done, which sucks. Which definitely sucks. But, we could get a run-in by Danielson, maybe. So I'm excited to see that because I don't think that he'll just not be seen in that sense. But who knows? Overall, I would give you know what I also want to know what happened. What is Death Triangle? Is that still a thing? Like, how do the Lucha Brothers feel about
your AEW tag champs? Maybe they'll say something. I don't know. I don't keep knowing what's going on.
There's no explanation on anything. Like that's the weird thing about this, about Pac being with them, is because like the Lucha Bros and them all together as a collective as Death Triangle are faces, right? I mean, I guess the Elite is face too, but like Pac just literally just jumped to a heel. No explanation to the rest of the Lucha Bros or anything. So that's a head scratcher there. Hopefully we'll get some answers on that. But you know how AEW is with storylines, so who knows? It's kind of like, hey, we're going to put this person here. It's whatever. Overall, I'm going to give the night of AEW Dynamite for July 12th. I'm going to give it a B-. C plus B- range, either or, depending on what you like better. I thought the segments backstage were pretty good. I thought the action was decent. And if you can keep me intrigued for at least an hour and a half, I think that's a good enough show to be warned as a B-. So your overall grade on AEW Dynamite tonight?
I completely agree with you. I was going to give it a B-.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. Signing off for the executive consultant. I am the Z is silent, but on Wednesdays, I am always elite. In the words of Shannon Sharp. Hey, I like fried chicken. I like chocolate too. If I got the chicken, what the I need the chocolate for? And if somebody tells you they don't like you, tell them you don't give a good dog damn. Which I didn't even use that one time tonight. Good dog damn. Tell them the Dice Man said it. And as always, live hard, love hard, drink, be merry, and reach for the sky, boy.